Oh boy, this was a very exciting episode. Um, yeah, I'm Team Toby now. I don't think either of them are really innocent in this whole thing. I mean, most couples aren't when they break up, but I feel like he's kind of getting the sword under the stick. Obviously, it's unrealistic to expect the entire family to move to a different city, especially with Kate's mom, but I feel like a lot of it is Kate being very passive aggressive, not really about the argument itself, or the decision itself, but more like she really embarrasses him in front of her family. She kind of just yells at him, ridicules him. Instead of keeping it a private matter, like, she's just openly mocking him in front of the family. It's just very, I don't know, it's just very hard to watch because nobody seems to have his back on anything. Like I don't like when they were fighting in the front yard and Randall and Kevin just gang up on him. Like I get defending your sister, but like they're acting like he was gonna start like punching her or something. Like he's obviously not gonna do that. And I think they should have just stayed out of the fight. It's not like she was threatened or anything. They're just having a marital argument. She doesn't have to. She really kind of has no backbone and relies on her brothers to defend her all the time. Also, why did she teach her 2-year-old daughter how, sorry, 2-year-old son how to open a door? Like especially since he's blind, I feel like I get she wants him to be independent, but at the same time, like who does that? Who teaches the 2-year-old kid how to do that? I just feel like that's a little bit irresponsible, you know. I mean, yes, Toby sort of locked the gate, but also she left the door open. But I feel like he takes more responsibility for the gate, and she just doesn't really talk about it. She's like, oh, what was I supposed to do? She kind of weaves around that. And, I kind of get Toby being mad at Kevin for just staying there forever, and it was very immature of Kevin to be like, well, at least I'm here for her, not like you. Like, it'll be one thing if Toby was cheating on Kate or just, like, abandons her, but he's doing that to help them financially, Like, that's like saying to, like, a military spouse, well, at least I'm there for her, you just go off and do whatever. It's not like Toby's vacationing all the time. I just felt like that was very immature of Kevin to say. And how Kate was, like, oh, I'm better of a blind parent than you are. You tried to fix his blindness, and like when he was trying to find treatments for him. And I think he's totally valid for doing that. And I don't think that's something Kate should get mad at him about. Like, he's doing the best he can. She's doing the best she can. But I feel like she's much more vindictive and passive aggressive about it. Like, she was like, oh, you should just accept him for the way he is. Like, obviously, Toby doesn't hate blind people. I just think she shouldn't ridicule him for wanting to try to treat him. It's like if you have a broken knee and somebody's like, hey, maybe we should get that checked out. And the other one's like, oh, so you hate knees? That's a bad example. Like, oh, what are you're trying to fix something? I mean, yeah, no offense, but I think Toby had the best intentions in mind. Now, I don't know if like the writers are making Kate this unlikable on purpose, but it's like she always plays the victim and just self pity, and she never really changes as a character as it goes on. Besides being able to walk up a hill, I guess. It just I don't know. I mean, I hope they're doing this on purpose, because he's really coming off as like very unlikable this season. Um, no, last season they made Tess really unlikable, but like they justified it because he's a teenager and she acted like a normal teenager by being like really unreasonable. But Kate's a full-grown adult, It just she didn't really act like it, always needing her brothers to defend her and stuff over like it wasn't like a huge violent dispute. It was just an argument. I think the brothers should have stayed out of it. But I think the episode was really good. Like, I'm not criticizing the episode. I'm just giving my thoughts on it because It shows really well written when you care about the characters this much that you think of them as if they're real people. I liked some moments in it, like when Beth's like, you could work it out, Toby. Everything's gonna be good. And he's like, well, you actually moved for him. And she's not. So like scenes like that are really good. Like when Rebecca's trying to stay neutral, trying to be useful, and everybody just kind of doesn't really think much of her because she has dementia. But then she's the one who figures out where baby Jack ran off to. That was a really cool scene. And Rebecca's the best mom slash grandma slash wife. Um, I do wish Miguel had a little bit more scenes, because it is their anniversary too, and yet he didn't really have many scenes in the episode. He kind of just stood in the background. But yeah, I thought it was a really good episode. Um, I'm excited for next week, but I'm really kind of over this Kate and Toby relationship. Just end it. Just break up. I think Toby could do better, and Kate obviously is just constantly looking for an argument. So maybe they're better off. Like the marriage story. Except um, Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson were significantly more attractive than pretty much anybody on the show. Huh. I'm going off on a tangent. I'll talk to you guys next week, but until then, I'll be doing videos on the final season, part 2 of Attack on Titan out of 3, and some episodes of Torchwood. So if you like Torchwood, then click below and subscribe. And until then, peace.